Akusala Dharmas. Unwholesome deeds, anything connected with the unwholesome root. Or Akusala Mula, accompanied by greed, hate, or delusion and cause undesirable karmic results or future suffering. There are two kinds of causes in the world: good causes and bad causes. If we create good causes, we will reap good results. If we create bad causes, we will surely reap bad results. According to the path of purification, unwholesome deeds are both unprofitable action and courses that lead to unhappy destinies. Unwholesome or negative mind will destroy our inner peace and tranquility. According to Buddhism, if we create bad causes, we will surely reap bad results. People who create many offenses and commit many transgressions will eventually have to undergo the retribution of being hell dwellers, hungry ghosts, and animals. Unwholesome or negative mind will destroy our inner peace and tranquility. According to Buddhism, if we create bad causes, we will surely reap bad results. People who create many offenses and commit many transgressions will eventually have to undergo the retribution of being hell dwellers, hungry ghosts, and animals. In general, doing good deeds allows us to ascend, while doing evil causes us to descend. In everything we do, we must take the responsibility ourselves. We cannot rely on others. According to the path of purification, bad ways is a term for doing what ought not to be done, and not doing what ought to be done, out of desire, hate, delusion, and fear. They are called bad ways because they are ways not to be traveled by noble ones. Incorrect conduct in thought, word, or deed, which leads to evil recompense. Unwholesome speech or slanderous, or evil speech which cause afflictions. In the Dharmapada Sutra, the Buddha taught, "Do not speak unwholesome or harsh words to anyone. Those who are spoken to will respond in the same manner. Angry speech nourishes trouble. You will receive blows in exchange for blows. If like a cracked gong, you silence yourself, you already have attained nirvana. No vindictiveness, quarrels, will be found in you. Unwholesome views or wrong views mean seeing or understanding in a wrong or wicked and grasping manner. There are 5 kinds of wrong views. Wrong views of the body, one-sided views, wrong views which are inconsistent with the Dharma, wrong views caused by attachment to one's own erroneous understanding, and wrong views, or wrong understandings of the precepts. Unwholesome deeds are bad, wrong, cruel, evil or mischievous acts. Unwholesome or wicked deeds, which are against the right. Maliciousness is planning to harm others. It includes thinking how to revenge a wrong done to us, how to hurt others' feelings, or how to embarrass them. From the earliest period, Buddhist thought has argued that immoral actions are the result of ignorance, avidya, which prompts beings to engage in actions, karma, that will have negative consequences for them. Thus, evil for Buddhism is a second-order problem, which is eliminated when ignorance is overcome. Thus, the definition of sin and evil is pragmatic. Evil actions are those that result in suffering, and whose consequences are perceived as painful for beings who experience them. Unwholesome or evil karmas of greed, hatred, and ignorance, all created by body, mouth, and speech. Unwholesome or harmful actions, or conduct in thought, word, or deed by the body, speech, and mind, to self and others, which leads to evil recompense. Negative path, bad deeds, or black path. Unwholesome or negative karma includes greed, anger, ignorance, pride, doubt, wrong views, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and unwholesome thoughts. According to the Sigalaka Sutra, there are 4 causes of unwholesome or evil actions. Unwholesome action springs from attachment, ill will, ignorance, and fear. According to the Sigalaka Sutra, the Buddha taught, if the Aryan disciple does not act out of attachment, ill will, folly or fear, he will not do evil from any one of the four above mentioned causes. In the Dharmapada Sutra, the Buddha taught, as rust sprung from iron eats itself away when arisen, just like ill deeds lead the doer to a miserable state, there are three kinds of unwholesome paths: the states of woe, realms of woe, evil realms, or evil ways, also called evil ways or three evil paths, or destinies of hells, hungry ghosts and animals. These are three paths, which can be taken as states of mind. When someone has a vicious thought of killing someone, he is effectively reborn, for that moment, in the hells. Sentient beings in evil realms do not encounter the Buddha Dharma, never cultivate goodness, and always harm others. Sometimes the Asura realm is also considered an unwholesome or evil realm, because though they have heavenly merits, they lack virtues and have much hatred. There are four fundamental unwholesome passions. These four are regarded as the fundamental evil passions, originating from the view that there is really an eternal substance known as ego-soul. First, the belief in the existence of an ego substance. Second, ignorance about the ego. Third, conceit about the ego. The fourth fundamental unwholesome passion is self-love. All karmas are controlled by the threefold deed: body, speech, and mind. 3 deeds of the body, 4 deeds of the mouth, and 3 deeds of the mind. According to Buddhism, evil phenomena refers to supernatural phenomena, which are said to be side effects of zazen, such as clairvoyance and of magical abilities, as well as hallucinations. They are considered to be distractions, and so meditators are taught to ignore them as much as possible and to concentrate on meditative practice only. Akusala is a Sanskrit term for bonds of assumptions of bad states. These are obstructions of body, kayavarana, and of mind, manasavarana. Some Buddhist exegetes also add the third type, obstructions of speech, vagavarana. These are said to be caused by influences of past karma, in imitation of past activities, and are the subtle traces that remain after the afflictions, klesa, have been destroyed. An example that is commonly given is of an arhat, who has eliminated the afflictions, seeing a monkey and jumping up and down while making noises like a monkey, but the subtle traces still remain deep in the conscious. According to Buddhism, an unwholesome person means an evil person, one who has evil ideas of the doctrine of voidness, to deny the doctrine of cause and effect. Thus, the Buddha advises us not make friends with wicked ones, but to associate only with good friends. He points out very clearly that if we yearn for life, we should avoid wickedness, like we shun poison because a hand free from wound can handle poison with impurity. The dhammas of the good ones do not decay, but go along with the good ones, to where meritorious actions will lead them. Good actions will welcome the well-doer, who has gone from this world to the next world, just as relatives welcome a dear one who has come back. So the problem poses itself, very clear and definite. Wickedness and goodness are all done by oneself. Wickedness will lead to dispute and to war, while goodness will lead to harmony, to friendliness and to peace. Also, according to the Buddhism, the unwholesome people are those who commit unbelievable crimes, and whose minds are filled with greed, hatred and ignorance. Those who commit lying, gossip, harsh speech, and double-tongued. Those who abuse others' good heart. Those who cheat others for their own benefits. Those who kill, steal. Those who act lasciviously. Those who think of wicked plots. Those who always think of wicked, evil scheme. Talking about the 3 unwholesome paths, or 3 evil paths of hells, hungry ghosts, and animals. Great Master Inkwang reminded Buddhist followers to single-mindedly recite the Buddha's name if they wish for their mind not to be attaching and wandering to the external world. Do not forget that death is lurking and hovering over us. It can strike us at any moment if we do not wholeheartedly concentrate to practice Buddha recitation, praying to gain rebirth to the Western Pure Land. Then if death should come suddenly, we are certain to be condemned to the three unwholesome realms, where we must endure innumerable sufferings, and sometime infinite Buddhas have in turn appeared in the world. But we are still trapped in the evil paths, and unable to find liberation. Thus, cultivators should always ponder the impermanence of a human life. While death could come at any moment without warning, we should always think that we have committed infinite and endless unwholesome karmas in our former life and this life, and the sufferings awaiting for us in the unwholesome realms. Upon thinking all these, we will be awakened in every moment, and we no longer have greed and lust for the pleasures of the 5 desires and 6 elements of the external world. If condemned to hell, then we will experience the torturous and agonizing conditions of a mountain of swords, a forest of knives, stoves, frying pans, in each day and night living and dying 10,000 times. The agony of pain and suffering is inconceivable. If condemned to the path of hungry ghost, then the body is hideously ugly, reeking foul odors. Stomach is large as a drum, but neck is as small as a needle. Though starving and thirsty, the offenders cannot eat or drink. When seeing food and drinks, these items transform into coals and fires. Thus, they must endure the torture and suffering of famine and thirst, throwing, banging their bodies against everything, crying out in pain and agony for tens and thousands of kalpas. If condemned to the animal realm, then they must endure the karmic consequences of carrying and pulling heavy loads, get slaughtered for food, or the strong prey on the weak. Mind and body always paranoid, frightened, and fearful of being eaten or killed, without having any moment of peace. There are 5 kinds of unwholesome deeds in this world. The first kind of unwholesome deed is cruelty. Every creature, even insects, strives against one another. The strong attack the weak deceive the strong. Everywhere there is fighting and cruelty. The second kind of unwholesome deed is deception and lack of sincerity. There is a lack of a clear demarcation between the rights of a father and a son, between an elder brother and a younger, between a husband and a wife, between a senior relative and a younger. On every occasion, each one desires to be the highest and to profit off others. They cheat each other. They don't care about sincerity and trust. The third kind of unwholesome deed is wicked behavior that leads to injustice and wickedness. There is a lack of a clear demarcation as to the behavior between men and women. Everyone at times has impure and lost vicious thoughts and desires that lead them into questionable acts and disputes, fighting, injustice and wickedness. The fourth kind of unwholesome deed is disrespect the rights of others. There is a tendency for people to disrespect the rights of others, to exaggerate their own importance at the expense of others, to set bad examples of behavior and being unjust in their speech, to deceive, slander and abuse others. The fifth kind of unwholesome deed is to neglect their duties. There is a tendency for people to neglect their duties towards others. They think too much of their own comfort and their own desires. They forget the favors they have received and cause annoyance to others. That often passes into great injustice. According to the long discourses of the Buddha, Sanjiti Sutra, there are 8 unwholesome factors: wrong views, wrong thinking, wrong speech, wrong action, wrong livelihood, wrong effort, wrong mindfulness, and wrong concentration. 8 wrong perceptions of thought. desire, hatred, vexation with others, homesickness, patriotism or thoughts of the country's welfare, dislike of death, ambition for one's clan or family, and slighting or being rude to others. According to the Sanjiti Sutta, in the long discourses of the Buddha, there are 9 unwholesome causes of malice, which are stirred up by the thought. There is no use to think that a person has harmed, is harming or will harm either you, someone you love, or someone you hate. First, he has done me an injury. Second, he is doing me an injury. Third, he will do me an injury. Fourth, he has done an injury to someone who is dear and pleasant to me. Fifth, he is doing an injury to someone and pleasant to me. Sixth, he will do an injury to someone who is dear and pleasant to me. Seventh, he has done an injury to someone who is hateful and unpleasant to me. Eighth, he is doing an injury to someone who is hateful and unpleasant to me. Ninth, he will do an injury to someone who is hateful and unpleasant to me. Ancient virtues taught on unwholesome doings as followed. Those who spit at the sky, immediately the spit will fall back on their face. Or to harbor blood to spit at someone. The mouth is the first to suffer from filth. 5 practical suggestions to prevent evil thoughts given by the Buddha. First, harboring a good thought, opposite to the encroaching one. Loving kindness in the case of hatred. Second, reflecting upon possible evil consequences. Anger sometimes results in murder. Third, simple neglect or becoming wholly inattentive to them. Fourth, tracing the cause, which led to the arising of the unwholesome thoughts, and thus forgetting them in the retrospective process. Fifth, direct physical force. In the Dharmapada Sutra, the Buddha taught, "Let's hasten up to do good. Let's restrain our minds from evil thoughts. For the minds of those who are slow in doing good actions delight in evil. If a person commits evil, let him not do it again and again. He should not rejoice therein. Sorrow is the outcome of evil. Even an evildoer sees good, as long as evil deed has not yet ripened. But when his evil deed has ripened, then he sees the evil results. Do not disregard, underestimate small evil, saying, 'It will not matter to me.' By the falling of drop by drop, a water jar is filled. Likewise, the fool becomes full of evil, even if he gathers it little by little. A merchant with great wealth, but lacks of companions, avoids a dangerous route. Just as one desiring to live avoids poison, one should shun evil things in the same manner. With a hand without wound, one can touch poison. The poison does not affect one who has no wound, nor is there ill for him who does no wrong. Whoever harms a harmless person, who is pure and guiltless, the evil falls back upon that fool, like dust thrown against the wind. Some are born in a womb. Evildoers are reborn in hells. The righteous people go to blissful states. The undefiled ones pass away into nirvana, neither in the sky, nor in mid-ocean, nor in mountain cave, nowhere on earth where one can escape from the consequences of his evil deeds. The evil is done by oneself. It is self-born. It is self-nursed. Evil grinds the unwise, as a diamond grinds a precious stone. Bad deeds are easy to do, but they are harmful, not beneficial to oneself. On the contrary, it is very difficult to do that which is beneficial and good for oneself. The foolish man, who slanders the teachings of the Arhats, of the righteous and the noble ones, he follows false doctrine, ripens like the castor reed, only for its own destruction. By oneself the evil is done. By oneself one is defiled or purified. Purity or impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another, not to slander, not to harm, but to restrain oneself in accordance with the fundamental moral codes, to be moderate in eating, to dwell in secluded abode, to meditate on higher thoughts. This is the teaching of the Buddhas. In the 42-section sutra, the Buddha taught. The Buddha said, when an evil person hears about virtue, and intentionally or voluntarily comes to cause trouble, you should restrain yourself, and should not become angry or upbraid him. Then, the one who has come to do evil will do evil to himself. There was one who, upon hearing that I protect the way, and practice great humane compassion, intentionally or voluntarily came to scold me. I was silent and did not reply. When he finished scolding me, I asked, if you are courteous to people, and they do not accept your courtesy, the courtesy returns to you, does it not? He replied, it does. I said, now you are scolding me, but I do not receive it. So, the misfortune returns to you, and must remain with you. It is just as inevitable as the echo that follows a sound, or as the shadow that follows a form. In the end, you cannot avoid it. Therefore, be careful not to do evil. An evil person who harms a sage is like one who raises his head and spits at heaven. Instead of reaching heaven, the spittle falls back on him. It is the same with one who throws dust into the wind instead of going somewhere else. The dust returns to fall on the thrower's body. The sage cannot be harmed. Misdeed will inevitably destroy the doer.